Hey guys, so today we're going to cover 10 multiple streams of income that we generate as a result of this YouTube channel. So I'm not going to cover on this video other streams of income from offline activities or income from investments and things like that. I'm going to leave those out. I want to focus specifically on this YouTube channel so that you can see the sort of income that we generate. And without this YouTube channel, there's a high chance that we might not be generating those various bits of income at all. Now, before I jump into this video, just want to say a few things, right? I'm not making this video to show off in any way, shape, or form. This channel is called The Humble Penny for a reason. We're doing this really for education and mainly for transparency. In addition to that, I do not drive a Lamborghini. Sorry to disappoint you. This is not the video or the channel for that sort of stuff that you might see ordinarily on YouTube. The next thing to mention is that all the income streams I'm talking about don't just flow in and flow into my pocket. No, my wife and I run a company and the income flows into a company bank account. That income is then recognized as revenue, and out of revenue comes various costs. So cost of sales and operational costs of running the Humble Penny as a business. Things such as technology costs and costs of having a team. There are a team of 6 people, believe it or not, who run everything we do. It's me, it's my wife Mary, we've got a tech virtual assistant, we've got a video editor, we've got a social media person, we've got a community manager. So you've got people who are doing various bits, and for those people, they of course need to be paid. And of course, outside of those costs, there are other costs of running a business as well. And in addition, let's not forget tax. Okay, so I don't want this video to be one of those where people go to you, oh, look at all this amazing income I'm making, when in actual fact, that's just gross revenue before expenses begin to come out. So I want this video to be super duper realistic. Now, the next point is that I'm sharing these ideas, and I'm sharing 10 of them because over the last 12 months, it's become very apparent to us that income diversification is very important. Gone are the days when you rely solely on maybe one source of income as your primary source of income. I want to show you through this video today that it can be possible to generate various sources of income using a platform such as YouTube in this particular scenario. And the final point to make before we jump in is that the 80-20 rule applies. Whenever you hear anyone talking about their various income streams, what you find typically is that around 80% of the revenue comes from around 20% of the income generating sources. But in our case, it's around 60-40. So my point here is essentially is that no two income streams are equal, okay? Some income streams are more recurring, some are more passive, whereas others are more active and more one-off income streams. These income streams have not happened overnight, okay? And they are not easy by any chance. But I can guarantee you that if you're somebody who truly wants to explore these sources of income, focus on actually starting with one, okay? If you can make one happen, then the second and the third and so on might then happen as a result. Now, for each of the 10 ideas I'm going to share today, I'm going to share with you what the idea is. I'm going to share with you why it actually works as a way of generating some extra money. Then I'm also going to share with you how hard it is for us to generate an income through that particular source. Now, if you're interested in how we go about doing it, because it's a lot more involving and it will take almost forever explaining each one, I'd say to you, look in the links below and above to join us live for a 5-day Rocket Your Income Challenge, where we walk through a number of these income streams in a really practical way, such that you might be able to see what it takes to actually generate income from these various sources and actually take the steps to make them happen. So again, look in the links below and above to join us for the 5-day Rocket Your Income Challenge. Finally, at the end of this video, I then share with you 7 key trends that I've noticed myself and with my wife Mary around these various income streams, things that we've actually learned in the last 3 years and we see as things that will play a role in the very near future. So if you're really one of the hardcore ones who are really interested in maybe taking these income streams and exploring them for yourself, then do make sure you hang around till the end of this video where I'm going to share those 7 trends that you absolutely need to be aware of for the future. If you're really enjoying this video, don't forget to hit the like, hit the share, and please make sure you subscribe to our channel and support us here at The Humble Penny. All right, so let's dive in now and look at these 10 multiple streams of income. We're going to start at number 10 and work all our way back to number 1. And number 10 is membership income. And this is recurring revenue that we receive from running another sister company we call Financial Joy Academy. You might see it mentioned when I'm introduced and so on. It's a brand that we created to help families and help professionals practically take action to achieve financial independence. Essentially, it offers a multi-dimensional value proposition. Everything from coaching calls to action plans to a community to accountability, all that stuff is all included. Now, that's the what element of what the revenue is. In terms of how hard is it to actually make an income this way? To be 100% honest with you, this is a very difficult revenue stream for us. It's actually a lot of work that goes into running a membership business. I mentioned to you that we've got a team of 6 people. Out of those 6 people, 4 of them are dedicated towards the membership area alone because there's so much to it. And plus, you're constantly having to create premium content. Then there's a whole community you've got to manage. There's so much to it. But for us, it's such a worthwhile way of generating an income because it connects to our overarching goal of trying to help 10,000 families achieve financial independence. So we're fully vested. So in that sense, it's a worthwhile activity for us to focus on. Now, why does it work as a revenue source? Having thought about it, I think the core reason outside of all the things offered that it works is because we offer at least 10 times the value that people are paying in order to have access to the entire platform. People feel that, for example, if they're paying, say, £50, they must be getting at least 10 times the value. In our case, we believe they're getting at least £5,000 worth of value. So in my mind, this is one reason why it works. And the other reason why it works is because we are fully committed. I don't have another job and neither does my wife, Mary. So we are fully committed to listen to our members within the membership area and do what it takes to practically build the best possible platform to help them work towards achieving their goals of financial independence. Okay, so number 9 is corporate workshops. So this is where we get approached by companies to do workshop for specific topics. So it might be around financial literacy, it might be around side hustles, but in some way we're invited to come and teach a very specific topic over a period of time. So we've worked with various companies, including YouTube themselves. We've done a workshop for YouTube, we've done workshops for other companies such as Indeed.com and people like that. And we periodically get companies get in touch for us to teach a workshop for which we then get paid for doing it. Now, how hard is this? For me, it's actually quite easy because my bread and butter is around teaching people. And I just love the idea of connecting with, strangers online, meeting new people online and doing it around the theme of learning. So for me, this is actually quite an easy thing to do. The hardest part is actually preparing for the sessions and actually showing up and delivering it. Now, why does it work as a revenue area? Now, not a lot of people actually get corporate workshops as a revenue income stream from YouTube, but it comes to us because we work a lot on developing key relationships. So the key is in building relationships with people and finding ways in which you can tell them about what you do and how that might help them solve problems within the companies that they represent. The other key thing in terms of why it works is that we are seen as an authority in the area that we talk about. The more we show up as an authority in an area, the more we are called to deliver workshops and things, and therefore we generate an income by doing that. Number 8 is newsletter advertising. So we've got an email list of about 15 to 16,000 people, something like that. So newsletter advertising is where we get paid a recurring revenue each month to advertise a particular product or service within our newsletter. And for us, it's a no-brainer because we are sending newsletters anyway. So it's a good way for us to partner with a brand that we love and a brand we believe will offer value to our community. And by doing that, we can include a particular piece of advertising within our newsletter and then get paid a particular fee. The key metrics that companies look for are around open rates, what percentage of your emails get open whenever you send them out. And the second one is the click rates, i.e. what percentage of those people who open the emails actually clicked on those emails. If you've got a good email marketing system, we use one called ConvertKit. I'll put a link to it below and above if you want to check it out for yourself. A good email system like that will give you that sort of data, which you can then use within your media kit when you speak to companies to present your stats and therefore negotiate a recurring fee for your email advertising. Now, how hard is this? This is actually an easy source of revenue for us. The hardest part is actually convincing a company that this is a good way for them to access the type of customer that they want to access ultimately, okay? So it's actually showing them that, you've got engagement, you've got a good engaged audience, and that audience are highly likely to open your emails and click on the links that you share. Now, why does it work? It works because we've got a large and growing email list. We've got a good click-through rate for those people who open our emails. So those bits of data together can convince a company that you are potentially a good person for them to partner with in order for them to reach your audience. Number 7 is coaching income. Now, this is where I offer coaching either one-to-one or to a small group. Now, this is one of my most favorite bits of activity to do because I actually love the idea of seeing somebody go from nothing to ultimately some form of transformation happening. So either they start a new business or they have a plan for their financial independence and so on. Now, how hard is it to actually make an income from coaching? It's actually pretty challenging. When we do coaching, it tends to range between 3 weeks and 6 weeks long. So I actually have to show up for 3 weeks or show up to 6 weeks in order to make sure that person or those group of people actually get a lot of value. Coaching tends to be a high ticket item. By that I mean you tend to charge a much higher price for doing it because it's essentially a done with you or done for you service rather than a DIY service like somebody buying an online course or an ebook, for example. Now, why does it work? The reason why coaching works as a revenue source is because there's no hiding place. Like literally, you have to show up, you have to do the work, and by doing the work and creating a result for someone, you get paid for doing it. The other reason it works as well is it gives the person who's getting the coaching an opportunity to build a relationship with you. Okay, that's the other reason why people might consider coaching. So they get a fast result from starting from somewhere and getting to somewhere really fast. But in addition to that, they also get the relationship, potentially for life as well. Number 6 is speaking gigs. Yes, so I get paid for showing up to do various speaking gigs. So it might be that I'm showing up at a conference. It might be that I'm doing an event to do some work for a charity, or I'm showing up to do some work for a church, for example. There are various different participants in a marketplace who are looking for unique individuals who have a particular voice to show up and do speaking gigs. A good example that I've had in my life recently is I got contacted by my alumni at uni to come and speak to a massive business conference that they're going to be holding in Latin America. So the opportunities are just almost endless. Now, how hard is it to actually make money from doing this? Now, this varies. The key thing here is that this is usually inbound, okay? So people are usually reaching out to us to say, hey, we'd like to invite you to a speaking gig. If you are somebody who's just starting out, that might be a bit of a challenge until you've started to establish a bit of an authority in a very specific area. And then you might then start to get various invitations to come and speak here and there. Don't wait till you're paid before you can show up and do a speaking gig. If you're invited to come and speak somewhere for free, for example, do it, because it might be a good way for you to practice, for you to discover your voice, tell your story and so on. And then over time, as more people see you, as time passes, you might then become that person who people reach out to and pay to speak at specific events. The other thing to mention as well in terms of how difficult it is to do speaking gigs is that I've spoken to different groups of people. I've spoken to small groups of like 25 to 30 people. I've also spoken to really large groups at big events of between 700 and around 1,500 people. And what I've found is it actually gets easier the more people you speak to over time. Now, why does this work as a way for us to generate revenue? Now, the key thing I've identified as to why it works is because number one, I've been told that I have a way of explaining complex topics in a really, really simplified way. And for that reason, people reach out and say, hey, come and do speaking for us, or come and do a workshop, and so on. The second reason why it works as a revenue area for us is because, again, we're seen as authorities within our own specific niche. Okay, income stream number 5 is from online courses. So we sell various online courses across the various areas that we create content around. So although we've got lots and lots and lots of free content, whether it's here on YouTube or whether it's at our blog at thehumblepenny.com, people still want us to teach them stuff in a very direct way, i.e. here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3. Like that. So we've got courses on investing, on making money via passive income streams. We've got courses on financial independence, one called Fire, Superpower, and so on. Now, how hard is it to actually make money from online courses? The hardest thing really is figuring out what our audience actually wants, i.e. what's the problem that you are trying to help them to solve? And then how do you take the steps from knowing those problems to actually creating an online course that might help them to solve that problem? Say, for example, when we created an investing course, we only created one because people said to us, yeah, great, amazing content with your investing, playlist and so on. But I'd just love for you to create something. I'm a complete beginner that says to me, part 1, watch this. Part 2, watch this. And they want to be able to watch it in their own time. So the value proposition was that we created something that was a program that also had a very specific length. So the transformation was clear. Learn to invest, i.e. you're getting a result over a very specific time period. Now, why does it work as a revenue generating area for us? Now, although figuring out what the audience really wants is the hardest part, the reason why it works for income generation is really down to marketing, okay? A lot of people overlook marketing and see it as something that is for the marketing department. But if you really want to, make money online, for example, and generate an income consistently without having to swap your time for money, marketing is a niche area that requires a lot of your attention. The key thing that we've had to do with our courses is actually to pre-sell them. So rather than just create things and then wait for people to buy them, we actually sell that thing first. And once we've started to get some payments for it, we then begin creating that thing from scratch. And that way we know we've actually got a ready-made market filled with people who actually want us to solve their problem by creating a specific product for it. All right, so number 4 is sponsorships. Now, this is where we basically collaborate with various brands in order for them to have access to our audience. And by having access to our audience, we then generate a fee. So on YouTube, we do things called YouTube integrations. It might be a 1-minute video or a 2-minute video where we basically collaborate with a brand that we love or like their products and see them offering value to our audience. And by doing that, we then get paid a fee. This is actually quite a good revenue generating area for us because sponsorships are usually quite well paid, especially if you've got a high quality channel. But for us, a key and really important thing is making sure that we don't keep having sponsorships with every single video. So we do them every other month as a way to generate an income. And when we do them, we're very, very selective. In fact, we spend most of our time avoiding a lot of companies because we really want to make sure that we focus on quality. If we get it right by picking the right partners to work with us as sponsors, those sponsors stand a much better chance of really giving value to our audience, and therefore it becomes win-win for everyone. Now, how hard is it to actually make money from this? It's actually pretty straightforward. Lots of companies are looking for good quality channels, and if you create good content, and if you build an audience and focus on what the audience really need, the sponsors will follow on the back of that. And why does it work? As I mentioned earlier, the key focus is on quality rather than quantity. The more quality sponsorships that we get involved with, the more our audience are helped and feel that we're actually doing a good job of filtering these various companies and only allowing the right companies that we believe could actually add value to our community. Number 3 is eBooks. Now, we all know what these are. These are simple products, digital products that you can buy online. Anything from like £5 to about £19 is usually what you might see eBooks priced at. They're typically low ticket products. Now, how hard is it to make? one of these and make money from them. The real challenge is in actually creating the product itself. But once you've created an ebook, and provided you've got a decent audience and you've got good marketing and so on, provided those things exist and your ebook adds value to people, more and more people buy your ebook on autopilot. And why does it work as a way for us to generate an income? I'd say the key really is effective email and content marketing, okay? The more we're able to really get our digital products in front of the right people, the more they are able to see the product as something that might be able to help them, and provided it's at the right price point, they are then able to purchase that product, to help them solve their problem, and we then generate an income by doing that. Number 2 is affiliate income. Now, what is it? This is where we essentially sell other people's products to generate either a one-off commission or a recurring monthly commission on an ongoing basis. Now, how hard is it to make money from affiliate marketing? It's actually a lot harder than a lot of people either realize on one hand, or a lot harder than they might make you believe. Affiliate marketing can be challenging, and the reason for that is because a lot of people focus too much on too many affiliates, promote like 5 to 10 affiliates, or even more than that. What that does is that their attention is focused on so many different areas. In addition to that, they don't have a credible or an effective affiliate marketing strategy. And the final reason why it might be hard is that a lot of people do affiliate marketing without being transparent. Affiliate marketing at the very core is really underpinned by being transparent. The more transparent you are, the more you build trust, and the more you build trust, the more people are likely to buy your products or service recommendations using your affiliate links. Now, why does it work for us as a way to generate money every month? The reason it works is because we focus on either 1 or 2 affiliate products or services, and that's it. Nothing more than that. We focus on those as core affiliates, and we back that with an effective affiliate marketing strategy. The final one, number 1, is Google AdSense. This is the typical income that we generate here on YouTube when there's 5-second ads pop up before you watch a video, or maybe whilst you are watching a specific video. By doing that, we get paid based on the CPM rates, the cost per milli rates, for our specific niche. Talking about making money, things like that, those tend to have quite decent CPMs and therefore generate us the most money. But if we talk about things such as money mindset, or talk about marriage and relationships, those actually generate the least CPMs and actually make us the least money. But for our channel, which is focused on the area of financial independence, we of course talk about the various areas because they are ultimately important in helping one really properly understand money as they work towards their journey of financial independence. Now, how hard is it to make money from these ads? Not difficult at all. The hardest bit is actually creating high quality content that gets views, okay? And the views come from either our existing audience, and we generate new people coming to our channel, so new viewers for our various pieces of content. So it's about getting that balance right between quality and value, whilst also getting the views as well. Now, why does it work as a way for us to generate an income? The reason it works and continues to work is because we carry on focusing exclusively on what our audience wants. This is what we've learned. We've learned this from YouTube, even from YouTube themselves. They've told us this themselves, which is focus exclusively on what your audience wants. The more you serve them, the more you listen, the more you create what they want, the more you get those views, and the more you get paid, through advertising and so on for creating your content. Okay, so that's felt like a massive marathon. And I mentioned to you at the beginning that I had these 7 key trends that we've noticed when it comes to this idea of making money online. Okay, and here they are. I'm going to read them out to you, really, really quickly. So the first key trend is around ownership. We've noticed a huge need for us to actually own and create our own revenue. So historically, a lot of people rely on the various platforms, either for advertising or for affiliate income and so on. But what we've learned over the last 12 months is that that can become quite a risk if you are relying on other people to generate your income. So the more you create your own products, whether they be digital products and things like that, the more you have your own, almost your own security, your own insurance. So achieving a good balance between your own content and the content generated from other sources such as affiliates and ads is a very delicate balance to focus on. The more ownership you have, the more sustainably you can create an online business. The second trend is around community. Again, we've learned that it's much better to have a really engaged community of people who truly love your stuff, right? Rather than just vanity numbers or tens of thousands or even millions of subscribers who don't really love your stuff. They just show up and that's it. Creating a really effective community and an engaged community is a lot better. If you had 1,000 people paying you, a small amount per month consistently over time, that will offer you a much more sustainable source of revenue than, if you kept trying to make an income from lots and lots of people who are not quite a part of a community and who don't feel a part of something, which is really what you create when you create an effective community. The third trend is around global small business. Okay. Now, we're in this digital age now where pretty much there are no more borders. If you are somebody in the UK, there's no reason why you can't create a business or a side hustle that appeals to somebody in the US or in Australia or in Africa or even in Latin America or Europe. There's no reason why you can't do that. So a key trend is to, as you create your business, begin to think global and think small. The more nimble and the more flexible and the more global your business is, the more portable that business becomes and the more likely you can actually run that business from anywhere and have your income diversified because it's coming from different parts of the world. The next trend is around proximity. Now, if you really think about it, I mentioned different sources of income. Everything from low-ticket products such as ebooks and courses to high-ticket products such as you offering coaching on a one-to-one basis or on a one-to-many basis. What's really at play when you think about it and you distill it right to the elements is that what really is generating the higher ticket revenue is really down to proximity. People want to be closer to people that they admire. They want to have proximity to those people, almost as though it's an insurance policy that they're writing for themselves. The closer people are to you, if you're somebody who's creating value, the more likely you can potentially generate more income by solving much bigger problems for them. Okay, so trend number 5 is low ticket. So we've all become very aware of our finances. The last 12 months, for example, many people have gone through a lot with their money and their finances, with their jobs and so on. So people are quite sensitive to expenses and so on. So low ticket is becoming more of a thing. People don't think twice about paying for something that costs maybe £30, for example. If you told them to pay for something that maybe costs £1,000, they are much more sensitive to a much higher price than they are to a much lower price. So a lot of what we see in the very near future is people being much more open to paying for much lower ticket things, whether it's things that they pay as a one-off cost or whether it's things that they're paying for on a much more recurring basis. Trend number 6 is brand distinctiveness. I've talked about this one before, but the key here, if you're somebody who's creating a small business, a side hustle, that you hope to become something much more in the future, the more you focus on creating distinctive elements of a brand for that thing you're creating, the more likely that thing is to become much more successful and actually make you money in the future. And the final trend we've noticed is around niching down. So it's become very clear to us that the more niche down you are and the more clarity you have around who exactly you are serving and why you're serving them, the more likely you are to stop speaking to everybody and really focus on offering value to those very specific people. So if you're somebody who's currently thinking about a side hustle, or if you're working a side hustle or business that's not making you money at the moment, ask yourself, are you actually in a niche? And are you actually in a niche that matters? Because some niches don't actually make you any money, whereas some other niches actually make you a lot more money because people are more willing to pay for your products and services in those niches. Guys, thank you so much for watching today's video on these 10 multiple streams of income that we generate every year on a consistent basis. I've done this video, like I said, to really be transparent. I want to be clear for you to understand how we generate an income from this YouTube channel. The other thing to mention as well is that we've been able to generate the income we're talking about over the last 3 years, okay? So that just shows you what is possible by exploring these various ways that you might be able to generate an income on the internet. And the beauty of being able to do it on the internet is that things actually keep expanding. So there's this compounding effect that happens on the internet. And so the more you begin to generate an income, starting with your very first source of income, that then leads you to your second source of income, which might then lead you to your third and your fourth and so on. But the hardest bit, actually beginning with your first source of income. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you really enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like, hit the share, and hit that subscribe button and support us here at The Humble Penny. Thank you so much for watching again, and as ever, in all things, be thankful and seek joy. Take care and bye for now.